Hello，欢迎来到赛后采访环节，我是主持人Reirachu。首先，恭喜 CFO 战队顺利的拿下今天本场比赛的胜利。Hey guys, I'm Reirachu and welcome to the post-match interview. Today we've got CFO's top laner Rest. Can you introduce yourself, please? 那今天邀请到上路 Rest 选手来到采访席，先跟大家打个招呼吧。
大家好，我是 CFO 的上路瑞斯特。
So the first question that I want to ask is, of course, today ended in a 3-1. Did the team expect to drop one game to Frank Esports today, though? Especially because during the regular season and tiebreakers, CFO beat Frank Esports 3 times. 那今天第一个问题就是今天赛前有没有预期到会掉一场给 FAK 呢？就是毕竟例行赛还有加赛的3场 BOE 都是与 CFO 获胜。
没有预期到吧？原本会觉得3-0就赢下来，主要还是我第2场失误，所以又多打了一场。
So he said that actually they weren't honestly expecting to drop one game versus Frank Esports. He thought that actually they were going to 3-0 Frank Esports today. He said that he personally made some mistakes in that game at number 2, and that was why they had to play that extra game. So the next question I want to ask is also about that game number 2, because a late game in game 2, CFO was behind about 8,000 over gold, but yet the team still managed to find a teamfight victory outside your base in the bottom lane. So I want to ask, can you tell us how this happened? 那接下来问题也是关于今天的第2局，就是后期的那一波团 CFO 好像是在经济落后8000多块的情况下反击赢下了团战，能跟观众分享一下当时你们的细节还有思考吗？
细节，感觉那波是我的功劳，因为我说我可以闪晕 AD，然后我们有悟空嘛，就悟空最后也转得不错，然后就赢下来了，对吧？主要是我闪晕的功劳。
So he said that team fight, why they won that, he said it was all him. He said it was all due to his effort because he communicated to the team that he thinks that he can flash and stun the enemy ADC, and then also because Gemini's follow-up with the Wukong spin was very good, and it was very good with his skills, and so they managed to win the team fight. But he also wanted to emphasize at the end that it was all him. All right, so the next question I want to ask is that today we saw a lot of focus on the top lane, especially in the early stages of the game. Your Renekton also got solo killed twice today. And during the regular season, however, you were the one who was solo killing YSKM. So is today kind of like a mistake, or is it because YSKM has improved a lot? 那接下来问题就是关于今天两队就都很明显的就是在针对上路，然后在第2局的时候，鳄鱼甚至被单杀了2次，然后想问一下，就是例行赛都是有 Resh 选手单杀 YSKM， 那今天这种状况算是失误吗？还是说可能对方就是进步很多了？
也算是失误吧，主要那波我是故意的，我差一点钱就可以买那个装备，所以还有多打几波，然后就死掉了，缺一点
So
钱。
he said that the reason why he got solo killed, he said that it was because he was only lagging a bit. He said that he should have gone back to base and buy items and come back, but then he didn't. And so YSKM just used that opportunity and was more powerful than him at that point in time. He said that he was deliberately throwing. So the next question is also about YSKM, because YSKM has been one of the hottest rising stars in PCS summer. Can you rate his performance in today's best of 5 series? 那新手 YSKM 是在夏季赛表现得非常亮眼。Red 选手能不能评价一下今天 YSKM 的表现吗？
今天 YSKM 我觉得他打得蛮好的，他跟其他上路比较不一样，就对线的时候很多激进的操作，觉得他蛮强的，但有时候会
那
玩到自己死掉。
那今天评价他一下，满分是10点的话，会给他几分
10点多
？10分。
哦，8.7分好了。
8.7。 How? So he said that he thinks the YSKM is really strong. He thinks that when he goes up in lane versus YSKM, it feels very different than from most of the rest of the PCS top laners. He says that he can tell just from the way that YSKM lanes, puts pressure, and like all the little details when they play out the lane, that he can tell that YSKM is a really good player. He says that sometimes he just lanes versus YSKM and suddenly he dies, and that sort of thing also happens. He said that if he had to rate YSKM out of 10, he would give him an 8.7. Which is really high score. So the next thing I want to ask is that the casters mentioned that 1214 is the rise of duelists, and on this patch Nar also got nerfed. So how has this personally affected you? 那刚才直播他也有提到，就是12.14版本斗师的崛起，然后跟 Nar 的削弱，对你有什么样的影响呢？
影响觉得还好，就感觉没什么差上路。
就 Lisa 的时候，就是 CFO 很经常的会帮你选那儿。
现在感觉那还是一样强，主要菲欧拉跟贾斯也蛮厉害的，但我不会玩。
So he said that he thinks that it hasn't really affected him all that much, like in terms of the patch change. He thinks that Nar is actually still pretty strong on the current patch. It's just that champions such as Fiora, such as Jax are actually stronger. But for him personally, he doesn't know how to play those champions, so he doesn't pick them, and so the patch doesn't really affect him that much. Lastly, I want to ask, what are your thoughts on facing PSG next week? Because your regular season record versus them so far is 0-2. 那最后一个问题想问的就是对于下周要对上 PSG 有什么看法？毕竟例赛的时候对上他们，你们的战绩是0-2。
有什么看法？
有什么期待？觉得会赢吗？
觉得会赢吗？只要把火龙打穿应该就可以赢。不要让他选坦克。
所以又全靠你？
没有全靠我啊，靠下路、中野都靠。
So he said that he thinks the key for how their match versus PSG will go next week is he needs to make sure that he can drag Hanabi down and just not let Hanabi get the lead. He thinks that in the picks and man feeds, they need to make sure that they need to try to make sure that Hanabi doesn't get to play on a tank. And he said that if they do win versus PSG, it's not going to be entirely because of him, but it will also be because they're mid jungle and will also be because of their bot. So very humble at the end. Nice. All right. Thank you so much, Rest, for the interview. And of course, good luck for the rest of playoffs. 好的，那非常感谢 Rest 选手接受今天的赛后采访。当然要祝 CFO 在接下来的比赛加油。拜拜。